Hi there, welcome to the Schwowin's Nest. My name is Sandra, and I'm so glad you're here. My first project is redoing this sign. I had made it out of a small mirror, as you can see, and some vintage paper and a sunflower with a rustic frame. It didn't sell, so I decided to repurpose it and make it into something new. I'm taking some of these garden stakes and I'm going to cut them down using my miter shears and just hot glue them all the way up until I fill up the frame. I'm giving this a couple of coats of white flat paint, and this is paint that I pick up at the hardware store. I think this one was from Lowe's. It is an acrylic base. It's flat white, and that's all you need when you're painting wood. If you were painting ceramic or glass or something that you really need the paint to stick to, then definitely use your chalk paint. But I always have a gallon of white and black regular household paint on hand for projects like these. Today, I'm using products from BeebeeCraft. BeebeeCraft is a website that has all sorts of crafting supplies. If you have not checked them out, go down to my description box, click on the link to the products that I have purchased, and you'll be able to go and browse all of their wide selection of different types of crafts. They have stencils and stamps, they have bead supplies, you name it, they've got it. And their prices are really affordable. I got a set of 12 of these huge stencils that I can cut down and piece together, and they were only $13. It's absolutely amazing. So make sure you go check out their stuff. I took two of the words Farm Life, as you can see, and stenciled them on the top using a makeup sponge and some black paint. Now I'm going to go ahead and use a couple of other pieces from a couple of other stencils and put those on so I can get a really sweet rustic sign. The BeebeeCraft stencils that I'm using are a 12 by 12 size, and they're really cute the way they are if you wanted to just use them as is. But I like to cut out the different elements and then piece them together to make even more different signs. So it gives you a lot more options if you are willing to cut the pieces apart. This windmill is from one stencil, and the barn I'm going to use next is from a completely different stencil. The farm life words were from the original stencil, but I did cut those apart as well, just because they were set not in a way that would work for this sign. I decided to jump out of my comfort zone just a little bit and add some of this rustic red for the barn, and I think this sign turned out nice. You'll have to let me know what you think. I'd like to take a quick moment to thank all of my current subscribers. I really appreciate all of your support. If you like what you're seeing so far, I would love it if you could hit that red button too. This wooden magazine rack is also a do-over. It has two slots on it, and this is the one side. I had painted it white and black. I had left the handle portion black as well, but then I decided to brighten it up a little bit more and add more white to it. Now what I'm doing with the painter's tape is adding some Grainsack striping on each side. The big stripes are always the easy part. The hard part is remembering to put a spacer in between the large stripe and the small stripe. That's what I'm doing here. And sometimes I totally forget to do that and just go ahead and mask off one stripe, and ending up with a much thicker stripe. So I'm going to make sure that it's nice and thin, the next stripe that I'm going to be painting, and then I'll be adding another tape like this on the other side. It's kind of hard to explain, but I think you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just using my black household paint to paint this. I did have to do two coats just to make sure it was nice and dark. The next thing I'm going to do is add a stencil to the center of this magazine rack. What I want to do is have just a round circle because I'm going to put a stencil on the inside of the circle, but I also want to put something different on the outside of the circle. Now, this script stamp is not from BeebeeCraft, but I will definitely look online on their site to see if I can find something similar. So if you decide to purchase any of their products, you can get everything all in the same spot. I'm going to just tape all the way around where I need that circle to be. I just used a bowl that I had in my kitchen. I found one that was the right size and used a pencil just to mark out the shape. What I'm doing here with the painter's tape is just kind of going on the four edges of the circle to make sure that I stay inside when I'm stenciling. I like using makeup sponges when I stencil. It gives me a little bit more control and the paint doesn't get so globby like when you're using a stencil brush. I've never mastered using a stencil brush, so if you can give me any tips on how to use them, maybe I'm just not using the right type. So if there are some out there that you find work really well, let me know in the comments below. I like how this script turned out in the circle. I did get a couple of thicker areas, but I'm not going to worry about it because I'm going to be doing something different around the outside of the circle. These are the stamps that I'm going to be using next for this project. They're beautiful leaf stamps and they're clear. They just come on a colored backing sheet so you can see the details of the stamps before you purchase. When I go to the BeebeeCraft website, type in the search box what I'm looking for. For this, it would be silicone clear stamp. You get over 200 different options. They have tons of different designs. They have baby items, they have animal stamps, they have floral and greenery, they have entertainment and all sorts of different things that you can choose from. I happen to choose the leaf stamps because I didn't have anything like that in my repertoire of stamps, and these are the ones here on the left side of your screen. You can see them there. What I just did there was lay out the stamps how I want them to look, and then I took a clear acrylic block, and this is something that I've had from my scrapbooking days when I was stamping with that. And I just press the block on top of the stamps and then they stick to the block. So this will give me a lot of control and lots of space for my hands so things aren't so finicky. So I've decided to create a little wreath to frame out the script stencil. And what I'm doing now is just inking up my stamps. And each time I place them down, I'm going to give them a little bit of a turn so they're all going in one direction. So you can see here that I'm going to be placing this sort of up and pointing towards the left. And as I move all the way around the circle, I'm going to be slowly just changing the direction of the stamp and rotating it ever so slightly, just so they're all in one direction. What I'm doing here is cleaning my stamps. I've got a little spray that I spray onto this cleaning pad on one side and then I dry it on the other side. I have something similar to this listed down in my description box. This just helps me keep the details nice and crisp and clear each time I stamp. So after about 3 or 4 stamps, I clean off my stamps themselves and then continue inking. Once I'm done using the stamps, they can go right back onto their sheet and I can store them away nicely for the next time I use them. I'm just using my eraser to get rid of any of the little pencil marks that might still be showing. And I think this turned out really pretty. I don't think you have to use it just for newspapers or magazines. I think it would look great with a little bit of decor on it. I think it would look wonderful if it was by your front door, if you have slippers for your guests, or even a couple of little throws. I hope you enjoyed these 2 makeovers and got some inspiration to start doing a little farmhouse crafting yourself. Don't forget to go down to my description box and click on the link for BeebeeCraft. You're sure to find something on their website that will help you create something beautiful. Bye for now.